Hello, what is up, friends, lovers, and people who refuse to download TikTok? Sorry, I could not get this video out sooner. Hopefully you are not bored of this drama yet. I was going to record this yesterday, but I was changing my hair color. So, also there was only 1 hour of daylight left when I was done because God is against us. So I was just like, I guess I'll do it tomorrow. And now it's like almost 3 p.m. and I am worried and stressed about completing this. I did do this to myself. If you would rather hear about this drama from a woman who is more educated than me because she's getting her master's, you can go and watch Hannah's video. Click that little doodad. She's amazing. Go subscribe to her. She's one of my favorite people on YouTube right now. So if you don't know who Charli D'Amelio is, she is a 16-year-old TikToker. I believe she might actually be the most subscribed to person on that platform. She had 99.6 million followers before they posted this video on the drama, blah, blah, blah. Her sister, Dixie D'Amelio, made her TikTok account after Charli's because Charli was already, kind of famous. Now, their parents have TikTok accounts, but literally just to, leech off their children's fame, and they all have YouTube channels. Charli has one. It's boring. Dixie has one. It has gotten a lot of criticism for being super boring, and they have a family channel. So, the D'Amelios posted a vlog of them inviting James Charles over for dinner. They were, having dinner together. It's, kind of supposed to be, one of those, shows where you're eating dinner together, but it's, not a mukbang, but it's, an interview. The only one I can think of is Brunch with Tiffany, which is with Tiffany Pollard, aka New York, because Monet Exchange and Trixie Mattel were both recently on it. Anyways, James walks into their dining room and it's a total serve in his all blue outfit, very much loving this. According to James, he is a mentor to Dixie and Charli, which makes a lot of sense because they all got famous super young. Also, James is only 2 years older than Dixie, so they also are kind of friends. In this video, Charli spends a lot of time making silly faces, which I think a lot of people misconstrued as rude, but she does this in a lot of videos that she is in, so I think it's just kind of her way of actively participating in the conversation. There is a part of me that's maybe there's a little bit of ADHD there. Is that because I recently got diagnosed? Yes. So, no shade to the chef, because he seems like a nice guy, and Dixie does say multiple times that the food is amazing.
Isn't this food amazing?
It is. It's very
so good.
But he does serve them paella, which I think is the most disgusting dish I've ever eaten. This chef has never made it for me. I am sure maybe it is good sometimes. A lot of people really like this dish. It is a normal thing that people eat. I just personally hate it. However, right after complimenting the chef multiple times, Dixie does discover that there is a snail in the paella, and she's shocked, and everyone's like, try it. And she does, and because it is the same texture as mussels and oysters, she thinks it is disgusting, and she legitimately vomits. A lot of people are criticizing her for this. However, one, it was pre-planned by the producers and the chef, because the chef is a very good friend of the D'Amelios and knows that Dixie's very particular about food textures, and they were doing it to get a reaction out of her, thought it would be more interesting than their usual long-form content. A lot of people are criticizing Dixie for being rude, but one, this was pre-planned. Two, paella, canceled. Three, snails are disgusting. I've been to France 3 times, and every single time I've turned down any and all opportunities to eat snails. They are just not for me. They're just not for me. Delicacy or not, I know my personal limits, and I will not be eating that anytime soon. So I'm not going to be blaming Dixie for not enjoying a snail. even after she threw up, she literally says she would try it again. I feel disturbed actually saying that out loud. Yeah, but then like later on they're talking about like milestones because Dixie just passed her 1-year milestone of like making her account, and like she got to do all these cool things like on the exact anniversary. So they were talking about that. And then this is the second moment that has been very criticized. Charli talks about how she was really hoping to hit 100 million like exactly a year after hitting 1 million, because it would be like an amazing, really cool milestone, and it would be like a double anniversary basically for her. It would be so cool. And how like she's kind of like a little disappointed that she doesn't have any more time to actually hit that 100 million. And then James makes a really snappy joke of like, wasn't the 95 million enough for you?
Ugh, I wish I had like more time. Because imagine if I hit 100 mil a year after hitting a mil.
Was the 95 not enough for you?
Well, I was just like saying like even number.
Well,
They are friends. Friends tease each other. It all makes sense. Kind of like throughout the video, James is a little bit acting like he is trying to save them from a PR nightmare. So like he must have known like a little bit. Like the whole dinner maybe wasn't like kosher. Obviously it wasn't actually kosher. I'm pretty sure snails are trafe. So no nuance November. Everyone's overreacting about Charli. Who would have thought? Please just like think. Use your head for one moment. Find one teeny tiny little droplet of empathy and put yourself in her shoes. Being a super famous TikToker at 16 is the reality of Charli's life. That's her life. Would it not be cool to have another insane, amazing landmark on the anniversary of another landmark? Yes. Duh. Next question.
Wouldn't it be super cool if I hit 100 million a year after 1 million? What? Oh, I just thought it'd be so cool if I hit 100 million 1 year after a big milestone. Just die, honestly. What? You're being so ungrateful. I just thought it'd be cool if I hit this big milestone. You should be canceled. Aren't there literal pedophiles on this app?
Charli also, like, mentions that she, like, kind of wants dino nuggets, like, at one moment, which, like, okay, she is 16. Her palate is not super expanded. Duh. Also, like, there's a lot of reasons why people are picky eaters, and might have issues with different textures of foods. One of these reasons, could be the extremely common and very well known ADHD. I'm gonna stop trying to diagnose, Charli without, one, ever meeting her, and two, having a degree in psychology. I just think, like, if you're looking for an explanation as for, like, why she would prefer dino nuggets over paella, maybe that's it. Also, she doesn't have to fucking like anything. She could hate all food. Who cares? Get off her back. She is a child. But for whatever reason, people are not off her back. And you can see that I'm very annoyed with this. She went on live the other day, literally crying, because people have been giving her death threats. Hannah from Smoky Glow theorized that these are like kids, because surprise, surprise, TikTok is a kids app, and they're probably the ones overreacting. Obviously this video's not for children. If you're a child and you're watching me, why? Which, like, if you hadn't already gotten it through your head, I'm just here to reiterate it, but don't send people death threats. Maybe, like, pretend you're in Death Note and write that down in a diary, and then move on. Keep your very, very rude, very dangerous messages that you want to send to a 16-year-old child, keep that to yourself, okay? It might feel good to send it because you're like, I gotta get out my aggression. That's why I'm saying write it down and then Get rid of those thoughts, okay? I'm not here to tell you how to get rid of them. I just think that that might be helpful. As for like Dixie and the criticism that she is getting, it seems like everyone kind of went from like 0 to 100. Dixie is not a child. She's 19. And I really I think she can like handle herself. She's like fine. She also, like, to the best of my knowledge, was not receiving death threats. So I'm just gonna kind of like, same message, just like don't be a jerk. What are you getting out of that? Maybe instead go on a walk. Like, the only valid criticism that I think, like, exists for this video is, like, maybe they should have edited it different. They should have maybe not posted it. And the D'Amelios don't really transfer very well to long-form content. Dixie has received a lot of criticism for being really boring in her vlogs, and, like, she even has a whole vlog where she's just like, what should I do for this vlog? What should I film? What should this video be? You don't have to post everything. It's okay to just, like, scrap things sometimes. If the D'Amelios want to do longer form content, they should maybe come up with a few more bullet points. I'll get on the same page before they sit down and turn on the camera. Just, like, basic things. They won't watch this. They don't care about my criticism. So now we're at the crux. I think I said that last video. I really like that word. We're at the crux, or we are looping back around to the title, however you want to see it. Should we be bullying the D'Amelios? I'm going to answer this by, family member. We should fucking be nice to Charlie. She is a kid. She's a child. Everyone is dumb, stupid, and makes 1,000 mistakes when they are 16. She just has millions of people watching her. How can you be equipped for that at age 16? Okay? Come on.
I've been in this business for a long ass time. I got no dog in the Charlie D'Amelio hunt, but I will say that people love tearing down teen girls when they make little mistakes, but the big teen boys make colossal fuck-ups and get free passes all the time. So if you're ragging on anybody right now, ask yourself if you've ever been a shitty person at one point and regretted it a little bit later. It fucking happens.
As for the, like, bunch of people that are now coming out to defend her, good. Yes. We need to make this message loud and clear. Don't bully children. Don't do it. It just bears repeating. Like, you know what I mean? There's no nuance there whatsoever. As for Dixie, I don't really care about her. She's not for me. Also, like, you really don't have any right to criticize her unless you're literally a snail farmer. If it really bothered you all that much, just, like, unfollow her. Block out her name. Her content's not world-shatteringly interesting, so you can just ignore her and let her live. However, I can make a video on my opinions on cancel culture and bullying, but I'll also leave it up to interpretation. But this specific case, I do think we should bully the D'Amelio parents. And here's why. All they do is make money off their kids. Gross. Ew. In the video, the dad literally asks James Charles if he thinks that they're crazy for moving their whole family out to LA, and James says no.
Do you think we're crazy for moving our whole family across?
No. I want to move my family out here too.
But, like, my opinion, my video, I'm correct. Yes, they are crazy. This family allegedly now has a reality TV deal, and although what I'm about to say is speculation, based off the knowledge of how people are and parents of famous people, I guarantee, it's speculation though, I feel that the parents were the ones that were, like, going and getting this deal. They reached out and did all the stuff required to get this deal. I don't think the kids really asked for a reality TV deal. Then that I am speculating that they did this because it would allow them to feel better for not having any jobs and mooching off of their children's income. Which, like, whether or not that's true, they are still mooching off of their children based off of like all other evidence. And like, this is a recipe for disaster for the children. Case in point, Gary Coleman from Different Strokes and Britney Spears, which is a little bit more relevant to any young people who might be watching this. Kind of want to touch on like something that Hannah touches on in her video, and has touched on before, but I haven't. My channel. There's been a lot of conversation around this in regards to family channels, family vlogging channels, because there are labor laws that exist for TV and film to protect children that doesn't exist when it comes to the internet, because no one cares about these kids. No one's gone and been like, let's pass a law. Also, I don't think Mitch McConnell would even care at all. Thanks, Mitch. You have failed us yet again. Like, it isn't like a one-to-one between the D'Amelio parents and family vlogging channels, but considering that Charlie's a minor, I am gonna kind of like, they technically have the legal right to control her digital footprint, which they are not doing. And the conversation around family vlog channels is that the parents are establishing and creating digital footprint and online presence for these kids without their consent, basically exploiting the fact that they reproduced in order to earn income. And like, this is harmful developmentally, and it's not like, they aren't actually protecting their kids from like the ire of the internet. You know, like I previously mentioned, there are no labor laws to protect the earnings of these kids. And so I'm really hoping Charlie won't lose a large percentage of her income or assets as a result of her parents siphoning that, which like technically this reality TV show would give them a separate revenue stream. And I don't really know the inner workings of their family finances. That's just kind of like extrapolation and speculation. My bigger problem is that Charlie is in the direct line of potentially harmful criticism from hundreds of millions of people. Just because they aren't following her doesn't mean that they aren't criticizing her. And like, as her parents, they are in charge of protecting her physically and mentally. And this is absolutely like a mental danger, I guess. Her parents like to claim that she and Dixie will like come to them and ask like, do you think I should be posting this? Like, is this okay to post? But that that's what's going out. And that can only do so much because you cannot control how the outside world is reacting. And as we can see, people are telling Charlie to end her own life, and that's a problem. From what I have seen and what I know, they have not done anything other than like potentially be like, oh, Charlie, sorry that happened. Do you want to talk? Do you want a therapist maybe? Not doing the thing that like legally they're kind of responsible to do. And like, clearly there's a lot of gray area here, and I personally believe that like Charlie should have the majority of the control over her online presence. Like, I kind of think her parents should be more active than they appear to be, because for the 10th time in this video, she's 16 and people are telling her, like hundreds or thousands of people are telling her to end her life. That's a problem. Like, I have a limited amount of information about like the goings on of this family, and their offline relationships with one another and interactions and their financial goings on and blah, blah, blah. But from the outside, it looks like the parents are prioritizing skimming off the top of their kids' net earnings rather than like worrying about the danger that they've been opening themselves up to. I do not have the tools to know how to actually solve this problem, but this is just like another example of that kind of like failure of protection. It looks like the parents are maybe going down the slippery slope of the Ace family, just like a long time later and like same ruthlessness. Some people have also theorized that the dad is trying to use the kid's fame as like a way to get people to like know who he is, and like then as a result vote for him, as he like ran a failed he ran a failed campaign as a Republican in Connecticut. Here he is. Yeah, some people are theorizing that like he's trying to use that as like a way to get people to vote for him, but one, they now live in LA, so totally different congressional district, and two, he would never win in LA. I don't necessarily agree with that. My conclusion is Charlie good, Dixie meh, I don't really care. Parents canceled. I'm calling CPS. If you would like to hear this exact same story but retold, I'm gonna recommend iNabber's video. You know, promo one video at the beginning and one at the end. He focuses a lot more on how Trisha like inserted herself in this for no reason. I don't really care about Trisha. I care about the parents being trash. Also, you know, let's like not be rude to a child. A child. Bobby says, "Thank you so much for listening. I am little and gray and love water. And I push mommy away." Yeah, for whatever reason, I just like had a lot of notes, so I guess I thought this would be longer, but it's not. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You should like this video, comment, subscribe, and, you know, follow my other social media that's linked in the description. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anyways, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how could I resist you? Mamma mia, does it show again?